Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to THORnews' comprehensive coverage of Hurricane Laura. I slept from noon to 6, which means I'm up now, and I will be awake until this beast makes landfall. And at this moment, I am in Houston, Texas, and so I'm pretty much giving you a point of view attitude. So if you're a Houstonian, everything I'm doing, it's because I'm in this shit with you guys. But right now, it does not appear Houston is in super duper absolute major danger, because it looks like Hurricane Laura is tracking more to the east and will make landfall headed into Beaumont and towards the Texas-Louisiana border. But this is 2020. I trust no models, and everything can change overnight. So if at any point in time you are in Houston, Texas, or even to the west of Houston, and you go to bed, please be ready when you wake up for it to have massively shifted west and for it to be Category 4 or Category 5 beast bearing down upon the coast. So what I majorly suggest, like me, is have your go bag ready. And so if things radically change tomorrow morning, be ready to get the F out of Dodge. Does that make sense? That is what I'm doing. I have friends that are in Lamarck, which is pretty much in Galveston, and so they are not evacuating. But if things change and Galveston is in the path, they're going to evacuate, and then they're going to come get me, and we're going to get out of town. But that brings us to a whole nother situation where, let's say, hey, this looks like it might be headed eventually straight into Louisiana. It looks like it's going a whole lot more north than it is west, now that we're looking at it. But let me just say, on that worst case scenario, that it does magically, mystically track wester than people are expecting right now, then just be prepared. If there was a mass evacuation out of Houston that started at 8 in the morning tomorrow, then there would be more of a chance of a major logjam. But right now, this thing looks like it's just headed straight north. So Louisiana and East Texas, you are definitely on super high alert. We definitely think that this thing has a chance to intensify into a Category 3 hurricane, and the farther it heads west and south, the more chance it has to get to a Category 4 or Category 5. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. You can see right there, I think we are finally getting the eye of the hurricane. I think it popped there at the last second. There it is. Bing. But definitely be prepared for surprises, and definitely be prepared for this storm to be major and a damage doer and a flooder, because I called a major damaging storm for after August 24th through the alignment of the planets, the Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Eris conjunction thingy. And so this is why I called the storm from 8 weeks out, dude. And I said, hey, let's be prepared for whatever storm shows up after the 24th. And so you do not want to be in the path of this storm, where it hits, because wind speeds blow up everybody's skirt, but water kills everyone. And this is rain that we're looking at right here. And so wherever it goes, if it is anything like this, it is going to absolutely flood out certain parts and territories. And so, like right now, we do think it is going to be to the east of Houston. And so we're talking Beaumont, kind of where the border of Texas and Louisiana is. So we're talking Lake Charles, Beaumont. But definitely, we are still on super high alert, but from this moment, it does not appear the majority of the city of Houston is going to feel the major effects of this. But for now, Beaumont, you guys are definitely in danger. And if this does get to the Category 3, which it is expected to, and it's already at 983 millibars of pressure, so it doesn't have a whole lot far to go. It'll only be like 40 more millibars in about 30 hours. Greg Diamond, Hurricane Laura is expected to push storm surge as high as 9 to 13 feet onto the southwest Louisiana coast. The latest forecast for the NHC Atlantic even calls for the potential of 3 to 6 foot storm surge far up to the Calesquia River north of Lake Charles. That is 50 miles from the coast. 50 miles from the coast, possible storm surge. So that would still bring some major storm surge into just before Dewey, Lake Charles, Welsh, Crowley, Uindinedan. And so that would be a major deal if you got 3 feet of storm surge 47 miles inland. So please do not underestimate this storm. And hey, if this storm busts and 100 people are like, hey, dude, you overhyped this thing, I will be happy with that. I do not want to lose any more lives. I'm your planetary defense commander. And anytime we lose anybody, that failure rests on my shoulders. And I said the yellow would start to pop up. And here you go. We're starting to see the yellow, and I'm sure the yellow will continue as the storm intensifies. But the orange is going to be the super path of flooding right now. And remember, it is still 30 hours for landfall, so things can change. This can shift to the west. It can shift to the east. But definitely where the track of flooding is going to be super flooded out, bro. You're going to get some major storm surge up to 13 feet, maybe possibly higher in some spots. Some of the wave projections I saw were between 50 and 60 feet. And so if you were in the main path of the storm, I would say anywhere from 50 miles in, I would get out of the way. Although, it is your own call and you make up your own mind. Just do what you can to keep you, your family, your friends, your pets safe. And if you are evacuating and you have a poor friend, do what you can to help them out. Okay? But yeah, right now. But it is weird as we're watching this. At the moment, and things will change, this actually looks like it's headed much more north than it was predicted. So I would say even Alabama and Mississippi, I would be on the lookout. Even a little bit of the panhandle of Florida. My mom is over here, but she's tough and smart. So she's staying on top of it just as much as anybody. Okay, but yeah, do it. So everybody, even what is good news for Houston is bad news for someone else. So Louisiana, definitely be watching out. Now I start to feel guilty because I wonder if my personal shield pushed it to the east, which is bad news for other people. Oh, am I going to feel guilty? The model consensus is starting to tighten up, as they should, because we're 30 hours away. But like I said, it seems to be to the east of Houston, but that is bad news for Beaumont and for Louisiana. And at this moment, I would say even this track would be in play or farther to the east. But we will continue to watch hour to hour, and I will be here for you guys without sleep until this thing lands. And my initial prediction is that it would track more to the east, because when you ever have a front like this, the da-da-boo Florida Wavemaster theory of pin the tail on the donkey, this would be the tail and this would be the donkey. And so it usually kind of hooks up with this. And so it looks like we are seeing that. So instead of the southwest action, we are seeing it more head in line with this thing. And so for now, this area for here is definitely a super duper mega high alert. So the big question now is, how intense will it get? Oh, but another point is, one good thing about it taking more of a north track and east really is that the time it has to develop from here, like let's say it went here, is going to be a lot less than if it went from here to here. And so the sooner it hits land, the less time it has to develop. So if it heads more north, it might only be a Category 2 hurricane, which is still going to be dangerous and problematic, but there's a major difference between a Category 2 and a Category 4. And so that is one of the good things. If it does head north and to the easter, it is not going to be as strong as if it had gone into Houston. And I technically was really worried about Cat 5. And so, but that is still going to be very bad news for all the people in Louisiana, because it's still going to bring heavy flooding, heavy rains, winds, And this is my favorite model map to use. This is precipitable water, and it kind of gives us a basic idea. But you can kind of tell by the way, it definitely seems like it would head actually even to the east or more to the heel of Louisiana. But definitely everybody through here needs to be very prepared and that would push it. But once it hit, then it would push it more into the west over land. And almost every model has projected this thing keeps hurricane strength into Oklahoma. And then Cranky Weather Guy said it's going to move all the way up into the northeast and hook up with 2 other storm systems to create some like superstorm system in like 5 days. And then all the models are saying we got more hurricanes coming. And like on the second, in 1 week, we'll have 2 more hurricanes to deal with. This is going to be a long marathon of a season. But for now, it definitely looks like it is headed more this way. But man, it is 2020. The 2020 has been kicking us in the nuts every day, all day. I'm not even sure if we've gotten any wins. Although when Israel and the Arab Emirates signed a peace treaty, I considered that a win. When Germany gave out universal basic income, I considered that a win. But then I'm going to get some people on here who are going to argue with me. And I'm not here to argue, bro. So the GFS brings it in. It would actually make landfall in Louisiana at midnight on Wednesday with 97-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The NAM takes it into just to the west of Beaumont as a Category 3 with some around 130, 140-mile-per-hour wind gusts at 3 a.m. on Thursday. And then the King Euro makes it a super-duper-duper mega monster. Like, this thing will kill people and destroy lands if it ends up like, if it does become a Cat 3, Cat 4 like this would just be a major, major issue. And I definitely think over the next 30 hours, the size and intensity of the storm, it can become Category 3, Category 4, Category 5. Look at that, 162 miles. But like, bring that beat back. Like, so that would be, so even up into 100 miles in, you're still getting 100-mile-per-hour winds. So this is going to be a super major storm, man. I'll probably do a live stream at like 11 tonight if you want to join. So this would just bring a giant, nasty swath of rain. And I want to say the Edgar Cayce maps, this is where it's split. But that is neither here nor there right now. But, but please, although the models aren't showing, I mean, everybody just be prepared. Anyone from here to here, be prepared for major changes, because this definitely looks like it has the potential to be a super incredible intense storm. All right, the GFS parallel had it coming in between Texas and Louisiana. The CMC mode brings it more to the west, and this would have more Houston effects. The NavGem takes it pretty much straight to the center line. And then, the Icon, so they're starting to lock in, and they're starting to bring it. So basically, Beaumont, Lake Charles, I would evacuate if you were in the way. And if we do get into a change situation at the moment, the roads in Houston look pretty good. 964 millibars would definitely make it a pretty major storm. And so pretty much anywhere from here to here, possibly here, you would not want to be there within the 40 miles, I would think. And then there's the whole power outage thing, where I don't want to be there at a place that doesn't have power for 2 weeks. So most people will probably survive the storm, but you might want to get to a place that has electricity, at least at 40 miles in. All right, shout out to Cranky Weather Guy. I think him and I are absolutely the best weather duo on the planet. And we've been consistently warning y'all for about 8 weeks that, around the 24th, there'll be a majorly massive storm for different reasons. He watches all the stuff, and I watch all the ethereal stuff. And then it all works. Wait, what? Yeah, giant storm in East Canada with the front draped well down into the mid-Atlantic. Our growing hurricane churns in the Gulf. Watch the link to the Continental Jet Enhance just a little towards the end. And if you're not following Cranky Weather Guy on Twitter, I highly recommend you do it. And yes, Twitter is usually a cesspool, but for things like weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, or fires, it is absolutely the best real-time news device out there. Cranky Weather Guy, President, NWS, grid data, forecast maximum wind gusts, miles per hour, Lake Charles, LA office-centric graphic. Links to all regions, states. Always double check, verify. Yeah, so you're talking. Remember, Cranky's a guy who he is a wind stickler. So he does not poo-poo wind data. Wind is like, it's his passion is wind. And so if he's warning of 100 to 120 mile per hour sustained winds or 80 to 100 mile per hour sustained winds, that is a real, legit, Katie, bar the door and get the fudge out of the way. Because that, I mean, you're talking 100 mile per hour, 120 mile per hour winds for 50 to 80 miles. That is definitely going to cause damage, and it's definitely going to take the lives of people who are not prepared and who are in harm's way and aren't ready. And so the sun is setting, and usually the most crucial hours are between like 10 p.m. to like 6 a.m. So please stay aware, and I will be here for you guys. Garrett Harvey adding in lightning. Vigorous convection is firing along the western quadrant along with new convective hot towers trying to develop upshear of the LLC. This is the point where we can see rapid intensification begin despite being in DM min. DMAX should be interesting. So yeah, we're about to go into the rapid intensification phase. So I would definitely think we could see this be a Category 3, Category 4, or Category 5 hurricane before it makes landfall, depending on how far west it goes. And so please stay tuned. Please be ready. And please be cool. And please let us make it through 2020 together so we can have the best party ever in 2022. Hot dang. Hot towers. And special thanks to all the people in Asteroid Fight Club, everyone who's helped keeping it together. Thank you, Jimmy J from Palo. He sent me a contribution. Thank you to all the people over the last 10 days. Al, Christine, Rampart, Zeus, Jessica, Lisa, Dan. Over the last 10 days, they have sent in contributions. And that's how I make my living, is I just work, bust my ass every single month, all month. And then you guys reward me when you think I've done a stellar job. And so thank you all very much. You make me feel like the luckiest man on the planet. I will do everything I can to keep you guys informed and possibly keep a smile on your face, although the humor is usually lessens right before landfall. Okay, stay cool. But yeah, this is, if you're in this may kill you if you're in the path of this thing. This thing is going to be a major storm, dude. All right. God bless everyone. Talk to you soon.